Alright, here's the deal. I put this police rear end. It's a 308 positrac out of a 2013 police Tahoe. And I put it in this 2007 Tahoe with a 373 limited slip. So the only difference was that the U-joints weren't lining up. I mean, one of them was too fat, one of them too skinny, and then since I went ahead and got the drive shaft off of the police anyways, but the yoke is a little bit fatter, so I need to use my existing drive shaft. I can't swap the U-joints and swap the yoke and that stuff because they're different. So instead what I did was I went ahead and put my old rear yoke from my old differential onto the new one. So to get this one off of the police, I had to use a steering wheel puller or a pulley puller, and as you can see, I just used the U-joint bolts with the washer and pulled off our police Tahoe rear yoke. That's all that was done to it. And then of course, before I pulled off this yoke off of here, I counted to see how many threads was available. So pretty much what I got was I had 3 threads. I'm trying to get to focus. Let me see. I had 3 threads showing. I just can't get to focus, so let me see. Let me back up a little bit. I had 3 threads showing. So that's all I did was count 3 threads. You can see I got 3 and barely gonna, let me see. 1, 2, 3, and almost gonna make a 4. So I just basically set it back to that. I used the nut and the washer to drive it back down. But since I beat up the seal just a little bit, I went ahead and lined just a little bit of silicone around this seal. Just a little bit, just for a little added protection. See, there's the silicone gasket maker. I just lined a little bit of it right there around the edges to make it work. But use a compressor. You're going to need a compressor unless you're just a monster and can jam up the drive shaft or the yoke by yourself. So there it is. Now I can use my existing drive shaft for this truck, for this 308 positrac rear end. Let me show you a little bit else. That's our pulley puller system. You can get that kit from anywhere for pennies, 20 bucks, 30 bucks. Everything else lined up. You can see we got everything else real good. We got a brand new gasket maker on there. We got all our emergency brake. We got our brake line hooked up. We got our traction control, our speed sensor. We got our emergency brake hooked up. Everything else fell right in place. So what I did notice was, if you look at this spring, check this out. This is pretty cool. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's about 8. I think I can feel one more before I get to the top. 8. Let's see if we can look from the back and maybe count them. I want to show y'all something pretty cool. Let's see. Let's count the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up there at the top. Now, I actually grabbed the springs off of that Tahoe as well. Take a look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are about 3 or 4 inch drop springs. from that Tahoe. That police Tahoe. The other springs were freaking this much taller and a lot thicker in material. So I'm gonna be using these springs or selling them as a feature as well. But there it is, guys. I got that rear end swap in. There's my gear oil. I got some 75/90 gear oil, and this is, you know, 07 Tahoe, new body style. I'll show you the rear end that came out of it. It's my short bed. I'm gonna be rebuilding the transmission in it. But this is the old rear end. See, just came over here and got that junk off. Ooh, this junker was shot. This whole bearing was coming out. Look at it. Look at it. It was bad. All that's just rattling around in there. So I'm gonna keep that other yoke though. I'll probably save this rear end for scrap, but I'm gonna keep that other yoke. Take a look at this baby. 84 tubbed, small cam. It's a beautiful truck. Nice looking engine bay, big aluminum radiator, long tube headers, real clean. Everything done real nice. So there it is. I'm finna put our existing drive shaft back on and fire it up. Appreciate it, guys.